Green in studio with us, director of the United Way. So, what's going on with the United Way, Andy?
Yeah, it's summertime, and we just had our summer nonprofit summit, and we're looking at all the things that you can do as like a family during the summer, and it's crazy how much I know there's so many people that are like, oh, there's nothing to do, or it's crazy how much stuff there is to do. Just this weekend we had Felix Adler Days, we had Juneteenth, and there's like the reading program at the libraries. There's always something to do. Well, so Saturday night, the 24th, I think, that at 7:00 at Foursquare Park, they're going to start a series of movies in the park for kids, put on by. The Sisters of St. Francis is a big part of it, but then also the library, the municipal band, Discovery Center, probably the Sawmill Museum. I'm probably going to miss a couple. But that's something that's kind of birthed through these nonprofit summits where we have people working together to put on cool events. So 7:00 this Saturday, they're doing the Lego movie at Foursquare Park. The movie will start as it gets a little darker, but there's going to be activities for families.
Yeah, we had somebody in to talk about that, and they did a Rastrelli Grapevine. It sounds like it's going to be a great thing, and it's going to be the last Saturday throughout the course of the summer.
Yeah, it's going to go through like September, and so, but that's something where, I'm a big fan of collaboration, having nonprofits work together, and Marcia with the Sisters could put on a movie night, but if you have a whole handful of people, like, if the library and the Discovery Center are involved, you're going to have a much better event. And so I'm excited for all the stuff that we have going on for our families.
Now, you mentioned the Nonprofit Summit, and I know you kind of spearheaded this with a couple of others.
Yeah.
How often? Are you going to meet quarterly, or what's your...
So right now we've been meeting quarterly, and we just had our June summit. And so our next one's going to be in September. We're looking, after our September one, if we want to keep it quarterly, or how we want to keep that going. But we just had our June one last week, and a year ago when we started doing these summits, we came up with a list of goals for the community over the next year, and so we did that again. And what can we do over the next year? Not that we hit every goal that we wanted to hit over. Some of them are broader concept, but. We did a lot, and so now we're starting that process again and looking at if everybody's working together, what can we get accomplished?
Again, visiting with Andy Green of the United Way. I know back to school. We just started summer, first day of summer. We're always looking for back to school. And I know you've talked about supplies for the area. How's that going?
Yeah, so our goal is to be able to collect enough school supplies to be able to supply every elementary student in the county. So we're aiming for about 5,000 kids worth of supplies. We've started that, and we have a good chunk of supplies in so far. We're nowhere near 5,000 kids, but as we get into as we get into the holiday and people start to think more towards back to school and school supplies, we really are going to amp up our efforts to be able to collect those supplies. And it's not just us, working on these. We have school supply drives that already exist and already happen. We're working with those to, through churches and the Vince Jetter Center to make this happen. And there's other ones I'm missing. But we are looking that, within those first 2 weeks of August to be able to have all those supplies and get them out to schools.
Seems like quite an undertaking, not only to gather the supplies, and I'm going to find out how people can do that to help you out, but the distribution of the supplies is another big task.
Yeah, so it's a lot of logistics. I don't want to put that in the back of teachers. I feel like teachers already do a lot. And so we have, we're forming teams to be able to bring those out into the schools and figure out how the schools want that to happen. There's 12 elementary schools in Clinton County, so each one of those is a different culture and a different way that they want things done within their school. So working with those schools to, of course, everybody's kind of on vacation right now, but as we get into August and those like 3 or 4 days before school starts, we will need a lot of help to get those out. But not only do we have the United Way and our agencies, we also have like National Honor Society and groups of high school students, service clubs that hopefully we can all team together to make this happen.
Well, I think it's a great thing, no doubt about that. Another great thing, of course, is what the United Way does for the many agencies that you do serve.
Yeah.
And just recently, the money was sent out.
Well, so the money, the amount. So we just had our review process, and the board has approved the allocations for this coming fiscal year. So these money doesn't go out until December. It starts around until December. But today I'm putting in the mail the letters to the agencies, letting them know how much they'll be receiving. And this is a great time because we just got to see what all of our agencies are doing and the need that's out there. We'll never, there's a lot of need out there, and it seems to be compiling, but it's great to be able to that's the big thing with the United Way is that we collect money and then we put that money back out, and we want to make sure that all the money that we take in is going back out into the community, and we keep our overhead very low to be able to do that. So now to be able to start putting that money back out in the community from our, that's one of the best parts.
Of course, raising money is always what you would like to do, and you've got some things that are coming up, especially when we get into August, early August.
Yes, so August 1st, we have our United Way Night with the Lumber Kings, and throughout the summer, as the Lumber Kings are playing, if they hit a home run, West Bend Insurance and the insurance group donate money towards the United Way. And so that presentation is on August 1st. And so we'll have that as kind of a kickoff for our campaign. And that's also Citizens First night with the Lumber Kings. So we're going to team up to have some fun stuff going on at the ballpark that night. So that's going to be a great night of baseball. I love baseball, and I think you do too. So going out, spending out a night at the ballpark is just the best, and being able to do that and hang out with our friends and volunteers, that's a great way to do it. And that's a great way to kick off our campaign.
And then, of course, that Friday of that week, we've got our golf tournament over at the Fulton Country Club, and we've been able to raise a lot of money for the United Way and have a pretty good time as well.
Yeah, and that's a great day. You put a lot of hard work into that, and I've already had people asking me about getting teams, ready, and so we're ready to go about that.
Okay, well, our flight's at noon and 3 o'clock, and we're keeping the cost at just $30, and all the proceeds do go to the United Way. We get sponsorships, of course, for each hole, and so it's worked out very well throughout the course of the year. And the Fulton Country Club works out great because it is so flat. And we have that $10,000 hole-in-one, and from the clubhouse, you can almost see where that hole is, number 8. So, yeah.
Has anybody ever gotten that?
No.
So this is the year.
I would hope so. I mean, we're approaching 40 years, I think, of doing this tournament. And I think the closest, maybe a couple feet, and that's been about it. So, I mean, it's a $10,000 hole-in-one, and, of course, we always take out the insurance for it.
Right.
But over the years, the premiums that we've paid probably could cover the $10,000. But the one time we don't take out the insurance is when somebody's going to get a hole-in-one. So it's worth the premium that we pay.
Hey, in my Boy Scout years, I witnessed a hole-in-one on the hole that got a bunch of money. Yeah, I don't remember how much it was, but so that was the only. I mean, I'm not a big golfer, so that was the only time I ever witnessed a hole-in-one. And that was one of those where all of us kind of stood around shocked as when it happened. So
I don't play all that much golf, but I've seen a lot of golf in person. But I have never ever seen anybody get a hole-in-one.
It's one of those, like, when you see it, your brain doesn't fathom that just happened.
Yeah.
Because it's such a rare event. So it's we had to definitely go down and make sure that it was in the cup, and I don't know if we just thought the ball disappeared, but it was quite the thing. That was at the Davenport Country Club.
I think the closest I ever came to that, I was with the Clinton Baseball Club. Dale Gardner, who used to be, or Bill Gardner, who used to be the president of the Clinton Baseball Club. We were playing at the country club, and he hit his second shot on a par 4, and we couldn't find it. And we were walking on the other side of the green. Where is the ball? Where did this ball go? It was in the cup. Nobody expected it to be there. You never expect things like that. So anyway, wrapping up with you, thanks so much for coming in. If people would like to help out the United Way or find out more, how can they best?
All right, so first thing is we have distribution boxes for school supplies all across the county. In the libraries, in like 392, the Sawmill Museum, Rusty Barrel, the Discovery Center, the YW. We have them all over the place. And we also have one at the United Way office at U.S. Bank, and the Skyline Center. I'm going to definitely miss some. We have some out in DeWitt. So we are accepting school supplies all summer long, and we want to collect those supplies. And then if you have any questions for me, you can get a hold of us at 563-242-1209. And then my email is director@clintonunitedway.org.
As always, great to see you, and we'll see you again on July 19th.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Thank you.
And now, the Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick.
I just don't want people who went to live to all of a sudden defend the Saudis and their role in 9/11. You don't have to bring it up. Just say, I'm not